What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to start the jig for the all-wheel drive trailing arm. I spent my early morning, shopping online, looking for some deals, some new clothes, some duffel bags and stuff for its upcoming trip in the next couple of weeks. So I just got back from Sims Metal. I went to go grab some sheet of 1/4 inch or half, I don't remember, but it's kind of heavy. It's like 40 pounds. I went to go get some sheets, 3 foot by 22 inches, and I plan to make the jig for the left and right trailing arm on the same sheet of steel because I want to get started on it and kind of figure out how I'm going to go about doing the trailing arm mod for the axles. Once we get that out of the way, I'm probably going to open up 1 if not 2 transmission and double check everything, clean it, and then reseal it, verify it's the GSR so we can have that up for sale, get that off the floor, make some funds for some other items such as the drive shaft adapter for the BK transmission to wagon drive shaft. So yesterday I kind of spent the whole day cleaning, and I got a lot of the junk here gone, a lot of the little knickknacks that were sitting here that were junk. I cleaned my tool cart right here, threw away a ton of things that I didn't need. So right now I gotta move the van, get it out, back my CRX up, pull the plate out, and kind of brainstorming how we're gonna make this jig for the trailing arms. Here's the big ass sheet of steel that I got, about 40 pounds, and it is a 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's 3.5 by 22 because I am hoping to make both jigs for the left and right trailing arms on the same sheet. And I got 5 foot of square tubing. This is just some leftover tubings. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use this to stick the 14 through or just drill a hole on the square tubing itself, but I got an idea on how to do this. Obviously you got to make the legs for all of the mounting points: lower control arm, camber arm, bushings, and toe arms. These are the trailing arms I picked up from the yard. These came off the Hatchet SI, and I stripped it down of its rear brake system, the pads, the drums itself, whatever, because all we're using is the front half. And the reason why I bought this is because I have disc brakes on mine, and I don't want to cut my disc brake trailing arm in case I sell this back or keep it for a later build or something. It's direct bolt on. So I got some spare ones from the yard for, I believe, 20 bucks each plus $3.99 core, and everything came out to like 60 bucks with the environmental tax and Cali tax and all of that. But again, I'm gonna cut it here, shorten it about an inch and a half or so, don't quote me on it, and then I'm gonna cut the RT 4-wheel drive trailing arm and modify that onto here based off of the mounting points on each corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some measuring down and then make some cuts and see where we end up at. Well, I have not been measuring, but I do have my hardware. So what I'm going to be doing with these guys right here, these are 17 millimeters that I'm going to be using for the trailing arm bushings, and I'm actually going to be using the round tubing right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld the 17s to the top of this round tube, right? And then I'm going to cut it accordingly, and then it's just pretty much going to slide right into this guy. And then I'm going to use a 17 mil nut to bolt down the bushing to the top of this guy. And then yeah, these are the bolts for the toe, and then the camber, and then the lower control arm. What I also have right here is an old rusted RT 4-wheel drive drum, and in between the drum I have some spacers right there because I believe the hubs are different and this wouldn't seat flat. So I got washers on all 4 bolted down right there. This is going to be another mounting point on the jig. So this guy, this guy, this guy, these 2, and that guy. I'm not sure if the time lapse was rolling. It wasn't rolling when I picked up the camera. So an hour later, just trying to figure out how I was going to do this. But I have 3 of the legs done. Right here, these two guys are for the trailing arm bushing, and this guy right here is for the lower control arm. This is a little bit more narrow than this guy, so I have a good like ½ an inch on both ends, but I think just to get it in position is all I really need. And I just got to make the one for the toe, and then I got to make the one for the camber arm. But let me show you guys how it looks real quick. 14mm goes on right there like so, and then typically the 17s bolt the trailing arm wishbone down, right? And then it still has its play because I still need to do this, and I still need to do this one down here. So pretty much same deal. It's gonna be something like that. This one actually fits in here perfectly, and this is gonna go straight down somewhere, I don't know, somewhere right there. And then this one, I have to cut this in half, shorten it, like narrow it, and then it'll fit into the toe. What I'm gonna do as well too, before I permanently get these guys in place, I'm gonna use the angle ruler here, 90, and then I'm gonna ensure the hub is straight out, like perpendicular to the jig, and this right here will position pretty much my toe and my camber. So I got to make sure that this guy is going to be straight before I weld it in place, because originally I had this in place, but if I welded this guy to the jig, it's going to be, one, super heavy, and two, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get this off the drum and also get it off of the arms as well too. So I am probably just going to make a smaller one with a hole in it, put it right into the lug nut hole, and then weld the shorter piece instead of the whole drum to the jig itself to ease removing of it. I don't know why 7 o'clock feels super late, but it feels super late. I've only gotten one side of the trailing arm jig done. I didn't even, like, I don't know, I just feels too late to keep cutting, so I kind of cut my noise down, and I did make 2 of everything. So I got 2 of this, 2 of that. I cut these 2, but I haven't welded the 17 on just yet, and I still got to make this piece tomorrow. But I kind of want to show you guys how this works, and I'm going to install a trailing arm on the jig. Now, what I did notice was, because I used studs instead of nuts on the bottom, I actually have to fight the trailing arm bushing to get into the eye here, and then the toe and everything else. I probably may weld the nut on the other side and then just use the 17 to bolt down, so I don't have to worry about trying to line up 2 studs. But it was kind of a pain to take it off earlier once I got everything all welded in place. So let me show you guys what I came up with. And that's pretty much it. Pretty sturdy on there. And like I've mentioned, these studs right here sticking out, it was kind of hard to get these guys aligned, because these studs come up that we have to, you know, get the wishbone on top of it. And then because this is so tight, that it actually binds on the bottom. So yeah, it's bolted in place. This right here is also a factor in you know, putting this trailing arm on the jig. So I already had it marked out. I'm going to be cutting that tomorrow, so that way I don't have to bring this up any higher than I should just to get it off this arm. What I got to do as far as the trailing arm conversion goes is cut it here, and then the jig is to line up the RT four-wheel drive rear end of the trailing arm on this jig, and then figure out where they kiss, weld it, plate it, weld it, reinforce it, so on and so forth. I forgot to make this piece right here to ensure that the hub is going to be straight, so I'm probably going to have to do that tomorrow. But you can already see how hard it was to get it on and off, so I'm not even sure if I am going to be making one for this, but I may make one that's removable, so that way when I bolt it in, it's going to straighten it out, and then when I need to take it off, I can unbolt the bracket, you know, pull the whole trailing arm off. I've already cleaned up, and I'm going to be taking apart one of the GSR transmission that may possibly be going into Carrie's car. So I'm going to clean all of this up, bring the transmission over, and tear into it. I'm not going to show that to you guys because I've already shown a lot of you know, tear downs of transmissions. But that's going to be it for today. I don't want to cut anymore, so I can't further make, you know, bracketry for the other side. But I hope you guys have a good example on how half and half trailing arm jigs work. And if you guys want to see the process of mating the two trailing arms, be sure to stick around, hit that subscribe button. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.